Okay, here is the second David, right? This is Michelangelo's David. You need to keep them very, very straight. We have a small Donatello's David right next to Michelangelo's David. So, here also we highlight the other Italian term, well, one of the other Italian terms that we learned called terribilita, which is awe-inspiring power. The figure of David is supposed to look monumental and extremely strong. That's why he has these extra long hands, extra long arms, and sort of slightly too large hands, right? They're supposed to make him look stronger, okay? So, sprezzatura, we said, is the position, right, that the figures are in, which they both are, sort of tilted with their hips to the side, supposed to look more natural. But terribilita is only David, right? This does not look very monumental or strong in any way, right? He's trying to highlight the strength and the beauty of the human form, right? And that's Michelangelo, and remember the other one is Dante. Okay, this is a Da Vinci, right? And what we want to see in here that's most important is the composition, right? Where you have an excellent use of perspective, right? You have a horizon line, the vanishing point. All the lines in the painting go to the vanishing point to create perspective. You have, remember we've seen many, one of the things we talked about in the longer version of the PowerPoint was you see many pyramid shapes, triangles, that are supposed to show strength and monumentality. Well, here you can see one very clearly, right? Jesus. Another one, Raphael, the School of Athens. Another super important work that we've seen and we talked about. Again, the same thing. You have a horizon line, you have a center, a vanishing point, where you have very clean mathematical lines to create the sense of depth, the perspective. And what's interesting about this one, you'll remember, is he puts lots of figures from history in, right? Especially making an homage to ancient Greece. Right? We have the god Alexander the Great, we have Apollo, the god of war, Minerva, the god of wisdom, and then he uses some of his friends and colleagues and contemporaries as the faces, the models of some of the old philosophers. So you have Euclid here, you have Da Vinci's face is supposed to be Plato, right? And Raphael, of course, includes himself here as a humble sort of onlooker, right? So remember, it's Raphael, the School of Athens. Okay. As I said, just to keep it very, very clear, what is humanism and its relation to the artistic reawakening of the Renaissance? We have secular humanism, secular meaning not religious, right? Because we're changing from a God-centered universe to a human-centered universe, placing the study and progress of human nature at the center of interest. So it's not that they disagree with religion, but they're not emphasizing it, right? They're putting most of their thought, their effort on the here and now, right? Not in the afterlife. Okay. So, as we saw in some of those examples, you have an excellent use of perspective, where they used to just make it basically with the human eye. You have mathematical formulas that create much more realistic representations of depth, right? And things start to look much more real. Okay, and again, we're just emphasizing the most important thing here is the belief that human beings can live full and happy lives before they go to heaven. And we need to look at this in perspective with today's world, that we still don't even think about it, but we do believe this, right? That you can be religious, but you can also agree that life can be fulfilling before you die and go to heaven. Remember, they're coming out of the dark ages where life was just so terrible that you worked all day, tried to survive, and basically tried to be very careful not to sin so that when you died, which was probably very soon, you could at least go to heaven, right? So this is a total shift.